G'day, this is Captainoob and this is the Tomacuzi-9. This is a highly customizable standalone weapon and is basically a hybrid of 3 different personal defense weapons. First of all, we've got the Thompson submachine gun butt up here, and then you've got the Uzi mag, and we'll get to the stock later that also is reminiscent of the Uzi. And last but not least, this barrel cover here is reminiscent of the Tech 9 as well as the number. Anyways, that's about it for the exterior of this thing. It's a pretty good weapon. It comes with animation, so it's a high quality weapon pack here. We'll go ahead and get into these attachments, and first of all, we've basically got the same thing as you would have a vanilla submachine gun there, so that's fine. And it's got a fire mode controller down here, so if you want to make this semi-auto you can, although interestingly, unlike vanilla weapons, that actually changes the switch by the way, is that you get less damage and less fire rate out of the semi-auto receiver, but I guess it makes it a little bit more accurate. But I still can't recommend the semi-auto receiver in any situation because you'll be losing out on so much DPS that the accuracy probably wouldn't even matter too much. Anyways, for the stocks, the folded stock definitely looks something like an Uzi there, but you can make it unfolded for a little bit better recoil control as the accuracy is higher too. So we've even made up for that semi-auto or the automatic little receiver there. Anyways, for the magazines, we can put a dual magazine on, faster reloads, obviously, and we'll move on to the next one. So basically this is the sights here, and what we've got now is the Aperture Sight. And what happens when you aim down sights is you'll aim through that tiny little circle opening there, so I do not recommend that. If you still want to use the iron sights, however, you can use the notch sights, and that'll actually aim through the top of this little bit here like the vanilla submachine gun, which is a whole lot more usable because you can actually see around you. But we're going to go for a rail. In fact, a glow rail there. Not sure the glow is going to help us all that much, but with that you can actually attach some more interesting and modern little firearm attachments there, and we'll definitely put a bottle suppressor on that. That looks kind of silly, but it's a suppressor and I love my suppressors, so we'll definitely chuck that on. There's also a compensator there if you feel like that's pushing it a little bit, and also no muzzle there. That's a good option to have if you want to actually keep the range and keep this thing loud and proud. So getting onto the rail attachments here, this is these modern optics that we can chuck on. We'll go for a micro T1 sight there, although you can have a little bit of more of a scope with this sight, which is actually kind of cool. I liked using that sight back in Battlefield 3. Moving on, we've got the flashlight here. If you feel like it, why not we chuck on that? Because just why not, I guess. There's no point on not having it there, right? Pip-Boy light sucks anyways. Anyway, you get a little bit more of a receiver color here. I kind of like blue zebra more, so we'll definitely do that. And of course, a legendary effect is there if you need it. Not sure how powerful this thing would be. Maybe we'll need the legendary effect, but maybe we'll just spam sneak attack criticals to win anyways. We'll take this into Gunner's Plaza and see what it can do. Okay, so here we are in Gunner's Plaza with our Atomic Uzi there, and I really like doing Nexus releases fresh off the press because I get a lot more dislikes than usual. A lot more views, but a lot more dislikes, so I'm imagining people saying, or just clicking on the video, seeing my character and saying, this is fucked, and then pissing off. But yeah, here's what we look like in first and third person. They're definitely a good looking weapon. Anyways, we'll get into these animations as we do them, but let's go ahead and kill us some gunners. Oh man, that's a high fire rate and lots of sneak attack crit spammery. Yeah, we're going to go well with this, I think, which is great. Okay. Now those turrets are going to be mad at us. I think there's a little hidey hole you can shoot them through here. It's just hard to actually find out where they are. There you are. Haha, yes. This is perfect. Can we get you as well? Yes, we can. That's my favorite kill on those turrets to this date. But yes, this thing definitely is nice and powerful when used with sneak attack criticals. We'll go ahead and get stuck into some more of these gunners just here. And as you can tell, the recoil is not that high, and you do lose a little bit of damage when you're not sneaking around, but obviously that's a thing for all weapons, and going in nice and close is probably your best bet because you don't really get a lot of that damage going for you at range there. This thing doesn't have a very high range, which makes sense since it's an SMG. It's not firing the heaviest rounds, it's not really going to carry that velocity over a longer distance, so yeah. I'll stop talking about ballistics now as we whip out an automatic one here. This one also has the wounding effect because I feel like a wounding effect on this thing is a good idea. It's also helping us out immensely against that gunner there. So I'm going to be quiet for a second so you can hear this thing fire. Captain Bridget, by the way, So there's custom sounds in when you're using this thing unsuppressed, which is pretty good. There's also the sounds that I'm using for this thing suppressed are just replaces that of my own, just some Battlefield 4 UMP45 sounds there. Let's not get killed by Bridget, that'd be bad. Okay, so we've even got an extra crit out of that, not that we're using any. So this one has got the scope on it, it's also semi-auto, and I stand corrected, I thought this one would actually give you a little bit of zoom in, but it doesn't. And as you can tell, yeah, if it gave you zoom in, it'd be a little bit counterintuitive, because at that range, I'm only hitting that turret for 16, which is, it's nothing, but a little bit closer, we can go pretty well there. It's also got the most sight housing around it, so yeah, no, I'm not using that scope ever, that's bad. This thing is a little bit more tolerable. Maybe I should have gone for the one that was at the bottom, but sure. This thing works out pretty well. We're going to third person. We're using the basic submachine gun animations there. We can test that just a little bit. So if we go ahead and kill these gunners there and put this weapon down. No, we can't. We're in combat. Well, we will later. I'll just make a mental note to show that off. But yeah, just using the basic submachine gun animations in third person works perfectly for this weapon. It's basically got the same sort of receiver build here. And the animation that is added to it is only just icing on the cake there. Good job there, Fiddler. He was the dude who did these animations. Anyways, we'll switch back over to our automatic one or the unsuppressed one with the wounding effect, simply because we won't be getting that much out of this thing suppressed anyway at this current state of being detected. We'll turn on this flashlight for this last kill because I just saw that on the side whilst looking at the reload animation. Ooh. You're casting a shadow behind you where the light can't get to. That's some attention to detail that I rarely notice. Probably taxing on the frame rate too, but never mind. We'll quickly finish off that turret there. Ooh. Never mind, that was just the screen bloom for a second. But yeah, it looks like I couldn't aim through these sights. Maybe that was when it was transitioning into vision there. But yes, as you can tell, if you trying to reach out far with this weapon, you really suffer in terms of damage. So it's definitely a close quarters in your face type weapon there. But there you have it. That was the Tomacuzi there in Gunner's Plaza. It did pretty well in close quarters. I expect it to go very well, but something as far away as sort of Quincy Ruins, where you're actually engaging targets over that 50-meter mark, this thing's probably not going to be all that useful for you. Have a stim pack. We'll move on to some monster or something. We'll check on the Furious effect. Okay, let's try running the gauntlet for this thing, and for the record, I don't expect this thing to perform all that well, simply because the limitations we've already seen. But we'll go ahead and remain optimistic here because, yeah, we've got some sneak attack crits on these gunners to do. Not too many, though. They sort of caught onto my tricks early there, but we've taken out the commander there, which is the tankier dude, so that's pretty good. And whilst these gunners are engaging these super mutants, we'll just go ahead and pick off the ones that the super mutants cannot see, including that one in there. If we can get him in a few shots in VATS, that'd be good. Nope. There's just Gerald over there. We're going to leave him alone for now. But whoever this gunner is, he's going to die back into hidden, which is great. And we'll use our sprinter's legs to quickly run across to this super mutant place here, because we've got to kill these guys first before we move on to Gerald. He's the final boss of this area. Anyways, using our sneak skill here and our pretty decent sneak speed provided by our legendary armor, we'll go ahead and take out this super mutant warlord pretty easily there. Granted, we were basically chaining sneak attack criticals, like, yeah, it's not all that impressive in terms of its damage without these sneak attack criticals, but if you can make good use of stealth, which is super easy and super overpowered in this game, then you'll find yourself having a pretty easy time with this. Now, we are suffering with the damage even at that range, which, yeah, like I said before, it's going to be a very, very close quarters in your face type weapon, but the fire rate of this thing definitely helps you out. It's sort of like your Automatico in Battlefield 1, that sort of deal. Okay, so now that super mutant decided to run the exact opposite way of me, we can find ourselves to have a nice vantage point up here that we probably won't be able to use because, again, this weapon's range is so poor. But you know what, we'll go ahead and try this out. We've got 4 shots on this guy, which is not great, but it is a two-handed rifle. Usually they aren't as generous with the sneak attack criticals as you'd think, but yeah, we seem to do pretty well there against that super mutant, so that isn't entirely lying to us at this point. Game just alt-tabbed on me out. That's kind of annoying, but we'll press on. About half that super mutant's health down there with a nice sneak attack crit with a VATS crit attached to it. So yeah, pretty good. But yeah, we're only getting 105 damage there, and since they've got such a large health bar, we're going to be needing to land several shots. Fortunately for me, super mutants are quite big targets, so they're not actually that too hard to hit. Just execute a little bit of burst fire here just to make sure we remain as accurate as possible. Don't let the recoil get too far away from us. And using the forward, hitting them in VATS several times over to get concentrated fire going there. And also, my bullets can't clear that. That's a bit weird. That may be a glitch with the projectile node there, but it probably happens with other weapons as well. That's probably just a glitchy bit of terrain there, but that's unfortunate. I was actually liking sitting up on that position, but now this super mutant has sort of gone around to where I was, so maybe it's for the best that I haven't been detected just yet. As you can tell there, we're only getting about 40 health points of damage when they're not getting hit with sneak attack criticals, so it's going to slow down our damage quite a lot if I get ourselves detected. That's only a basic. He'll go down in 2 shots regardless. And now we can find out where these other super mutants are. Alright, we'll have a decent shot on him. Very good. As you can tell, now that we're a lot closer to these super mutants, if we do VATS sneak attack crits on these guys, it's going to take them out a lot easier, especially if we hit him in the head. But yes, as long as we can keep ourselves hidden, we can actually make this thing do pretty well. So I wouldn't sell it as a top tier weapon, but you can actually do pretty well with it provided you've got yourself set up for sneak, which why wouldn't you ever set yourself up for sneak in Fallout games unless you're doing some silly challenge run where you don't want to ever crouch or something, which I will never do, by the way. Yeah, you'll do pretty well with this weapon if you take advantage of the multiple stealth things. Also, I think I got hurt by a physics object. I usually like to think that you stub your toe or something when that happens because, man, that's painful. It take out a lot of hit points if you did that. So here's the semi-auto one. We've got I've got a different sight on this now, and as you can tell, it's not doing a whole lot of damage. I'm not really keen on this taking out Gerald here, so we'll switch over to our unsuppressed one now with the furious effect. So we'll just go ahead and stack some of that damage on him. No, we'll save VATS for later, but now we'll just keep on shooting him like that. Rare detected now, no use of sneaking, crouching, and we'll go ahead and hit him in the face a few times there. We get better VATS shots without the modern reflex sights there, so that's kind of a change in the balance there, and we died. Not a big surprise. Okay, here we are spawned in again. This time, we're just going to go straight for the final boss of Gerald here. So this time, we'll wait until he's finished with all of his gunner friends there, which shouldn't take long. The super mutants generally do very well against these low-level dudes. Oh, 1300 damage. Yeah, he friggin' kills them, alright. Actually, he's pulling away. He's retreating for some reason, and that reason basically is that he's doing the basic Fallout enemy AI. If they can't see you, if they can't find a way around you, and they're a melee enemy type thing, they'll just bugger off in some random direction. They won't. They'll just retreat. That's fine. As soon as the super mutants are done with the gunners over there, he's running off some more actually, which is useful. Alright, we've got to take out one of these super mutant warlords because I actually want to get up and sprint after him. Oh, that's terrible damage. I think I'll just run away. I'm just wasting too much time trying to take out that super mutant warlord by normal means, I guess. But I don't want to use this thing unsuppressed just yet because right now he's pretty much at the range where he'd kill us anyway, but I don't think I have a choice in the matter. So out comes a furious one. Let's get stuck into him here. We'll just do a little bit of hip firing. Rico gets on top of you quite quickly, so be sure to not be a scrub like me and actually control it. And I think he's actually stuck now, but I think he's being shot by other things there. I really hope that's not going to interfere with my furious damage. It looks like it's not. He's mutated at this point, which is great. We've pretty much got him dead to rights right now, which is great. According to VATS, we can finish him off in this quick VATS strike here after the reload. And we can finish him off just after, which is great. Okay. How many of these other super mutants want a piece of this? Yeah, you get a piece of an angry Tech 9, Uzi, and Thompson hybrid. There you go. Have some of this. Now, I'm guessing there won't be any drum mags for this particular weapon, but I feel like that'd be a nice choice for that. You get more of the Thompson feel out of it. Maybe too much of a Thompson feel, but surely there's Uzi mags that are drums out there, right? Maybe that could be a compromise, but yeah. We'll just let him shoot us for a second because he's got a minigun. Whilst we're sort of taking damage and talking about it. He actually just spat on the ground. See, even he hates it. Yeah, you should probably spit on that minigun barrel because that's actually looking hot. The irony in this situation is if he decided to just unload the ammo and hit me with that as I kick it away. See, even the sole survivor to test this piece of shit. But anyways, if he actually used the shredder on that rather than firing the bullets, he actually would have killed me faster and staggered me more. So the real tragedy of this super mutant is he wasn't able to use his weapons the right way. But anyways, that was Atomic Uzi there. This is also a shipping trailer that has 2 stealth boys in it. Very useful. And yeah, if you'd like to see this thing in your game, check out the description. There shall be a link. And also Untextured Doghouse. Let's just turn away from that, pretend that didn't exist. And yeah, link will be in the description if you want that. Also, this companion or this Soul Survivor has a companion mod. If you're interested in that, that'll be down there too. Thank you for watching, guys. And thank you for watching if you're new and you got this far, because not a lot of you do. Cheers.